Okay peeps, try this again. I've just been filming it previously, and pardon me, and when I looked up at the camera I saw that I wasn't recording. So here we go, part 2, or take 2. This is a chipboard Tesla battery box assembly, but I'm not using chipboard in the final batteries. This was just a sizing exercise. That's why there's no end on it at the moment. The battery packs fit in there quite snugly, and the second one goes in pretty well. It's a little bit tighter than the first, but it does go in. Like so. Absolutely brilliant snug fit, and as you can see I put one of the handles on, and even though I haven't got an end on this end and it's particle board, it's still liftable. I'm only having to use 2 hands because it's up near my chest and it's difficult with the one. So as you can see, it's not going to break apart. I should be continuing to put an end on this and do everything as a Tesla battery, but I'll be using this for portable work, not on the Powerwall itself. So I'll put that out of the way. And the other day I went shopping, and I want to say a very big thank you to Tony, who at my local Orange DIY in the UK cut all these up for me, and it wasn't easy for him. The board kept on moving and everything, because I wanted 18 of these, 18 of these, and 10 of these, and they're all 12mm MDF. Now, I know a lot of you will be saying, with that weight the screws will just tear out. I have a cure for that, which I will show you later. Boom. Let's build a Tesla type Powerwall battery. Now, I've already marked out where the glue has to go, pre-drilled holes for the handle, and they're countersunk on the back so that when the batteries go in, they're not, or the cells packs go in, they're not rubbing against the metal. And I've just, yeah, you should be able to see that, marked out the 4 holes I need for the cables coming out, and I'm now going to drill them. Now, the way I drill them is not in one go. I use a small drill, I think it's about 1/8 of an inch. Then I go to an intermediate. In this case it says on here 4.8mm, right? And then I use the final drill, and that is 6.5. Now, the reason I do it this way is because I don't want too much breakout on the back. Yes, I know I could put another piece of board up against it and do it that way, but when I do that sort of thing, I prefer to have a really good flat surface to do it on, and I'm in the kitchen, I should be doing this outside, and I don't have a flat surface. Yeah, I do have a flat surface in the lab, but then the dust gets everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill those 4, and then I'm going to show you how I drill the holes for the screws. Okay peeps, there's the 4 holes for the cables. That's the 2 cables for the solar panels and 2 cables for the output of the battery pack. So now I'm going to mark where I want the holes fixed in the bottom, and then I'll mark the holes for the fixings of the sides. And I'll do that on both side pieces, because the end pieces will sit inside, so there's nothing to do on them except the bottom rail. Now, it doesn't have to be super accurate. I just line the 2 ends up so they're parallel and mark off where I want the screws. And once I've done that, I take a rough halfway mark, and then I know where to draw. Now, excuse me, do the other one. Not super critical. It's just to give them a little bit of uniformity. And once again, halfway, and then I know where I'm going to draw the holes. Right, next, mark up the sides. Okay, the side ones are super critical, like the bottom ones. Pencil the right way around, Raymond. And again, in the middle. There we go. Get this right for that. That's that one. And then we do this one. This time I'll do it so you can see it. Right, that's the holes ready for drilling. Holes ready for drilling. Now then, right here I'm using a 3.5mm drill. As I said, I'm in the kitchen, so I'm not going to do it in the kitchen, but I just want to show you how I drill these holes so that when I'm carrying a heavy battery, the screws won't pull straight out. Even, you know, this would work even without gluing. I glue anyway for the extra strength. But what I do is I take the drill in at an angle like that. The angle's not important, but what is important is that there's enough angle so that when the screw tries to pull out, it pulls vertically and it's got more of the MDF to pull against. Whereas if it was upright, it would just have what the threads are holding. So that increases the possibility that the screws could part company with the MDF and come out. And what I do is I do one, I'm exaggerating this angle now so you can see better. I put one in like that, and then an opposing one like that, and then this one can either be that way or that way, it doesn't matter. Then what I do is I countersink them so that the head of the screw, oops daisy, the head of the screw is, you know, well below the surface without being too far down. So I'll go and drill those, and then I'll come back and show you how I go about assembling. Okay people, let's do some gluing. I've already painted the inside of the Tesla battery box and the other side of the side that will hold the handle, and put the handle on. The handle is handle's fixing screws, sorry, are recessed so that when I put the batteries in, or the cells in, to make the battery, then they will, you know, they won't get skagged by the or damaged by the head of the screws. But what I shall be doing is running a pilot drill through first, because if I just try putting the screws in as is without pre-drilling, I'm afraid it wouldn't work very well, because I'd end up with breakout. So now we do one of the sides. Now this is the first painted battery box. Win-win situation. Okay, there's the last side, and let's stick it all together, square it up. That's perfect. As you can see, the screws are on an angle, but not that acute an angle that you can't drive them in properly. It's just to give a little added security. I know the glue is very good at holding timber together, but a little security doesn't go amiss. There we go people, one battery box ready for the use of. And these are the holes where the solar will be going in and the power will be coming out. Next stage, put the door on, and then we can fill it full of batteries. Right people, I'm cutting acrylic for the door of the Tesla type Powerwall battery, and this is it's only I think 2mm thick, and this straight edge is from the slide bar on the side of a rack server, and what I've done is I've measured from the edge of the bench in the distance I want, which is 255mm, so that the cutting line is actually on the edge of the bench, and all I'm using is a good old Stanley knife, and I'm putting the blade right up against the server rail, and very carefully, nice and slowly, so I don't skid off like that, and I'm just doing several cuts, and eventually what will happen is the plastic will drop down under its own weight. Which it's starting to do now, and there we are. A very nice straight cut.